Now it makes sense. Ever since the Audi Q2 launched earlier in 2017, I haven't really been able to gel with it. It came with an entry-level front-wheel drive petrol model or an expensive all-wheel drive diesel. But now there's a 2-litre petrol all-wheel drive, and I think it's the eureka moment for the Audi Q2. The new engine is considerably punchier than the existing petrol, with 140 kilowatts of power and 320 newton meters of torque. Combined with all-wheel drive and a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, it turns this thing into something like a boxy hot hatch on stilts. It's a fairly peppy thing. Audi claims a 0 to 100 time of 6.5 seconds, so finally there's some performance muscle to match those chiseled exterior panels. We've come to know this drivetrain from other Volkswagen Group models, and it doesn't really disappoint. When you put your foot down, sure, there's a little bit of lag, but it does get away pretty quickly. And while dual-clutch gearboxes can be a little bit hesitant at low speeds, they seem to have ironed out a lot of that stumbling that we've come to see over the years from these sorts of transmissions. It's relatively easy, and you do get used to it. The benefit of the Quattro all-wheel drive system is noticeable. The front-wheel drive model can squeal its tyres when you accelerate away from a standstill, and you don't get that with all-wheel drive. Also, you've got better traction through the twisty bits, so you've got that extra peace of mind. And of course you get AEB with pedestrian detection, a reversing camera and parking sensors, blind spot and rear cross traffic alert, and there's an optional safety pack with lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control and semi-autonomous driving at speeds up to 65 k's an hour. But if you're thinking of buying a Q2, it's probably because of the way the thing looks. Now, I'll leave it up to you to decide what you think, but for me, there are nicer looking Audis in the showroom. But that doesn't mean the Q2 doesn't have a part to play. It is apparently aimed at younger buyers, those who mightn't find the convention of a hatchback like the A3 or the rounded edges of the Q3 all that appealing. It has a job to do then, and I guess it does it well. And because it's the range-topping petrol model, it looks very similar to the diesel sport variant. It gets 18-inch wheels as standard rather than 17s, and you can option 19s if you want. You get sports leather seats in this version, and while it looks typically Audi in here, once you look a little bit closer, you do notice that there is some cost-cutting going on. Things like this scratchy plastic on the doors that doesn't really reflect the $48.5 grand asking price. It is a little bit disappointing that Audi asks you to tick an option box to get the Technic pack in this top spec model, and what that gets you is the brilliant virtual cockpit display that sits in front of the driver, a 12.3-inch screen that is crisp and beautiful, but you got to pay for it. But that also gets you Navigation Plus with the big central screen and this flat bottom steering wheel, so I think it's $2.5 grand well spent. You do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. We've mentioned before when reviewing the Q2 that it offers adequate but not exceptional rear seat space, and nothing changes in that regard with this new variant. It has dual ISOFIX points and okay storage. The boot too remains the same. All-wheel drive Q2s have a small 355-litre cargo zone, some 50 litres less than the front drive model, so I guess the base model has that on its side. But I don't think you're looking at the Audi Q2 if you want the most practical small SUV in the premium segment. If you are looking for that car, check out the BMW X1 or Mini Countryman. To sum it up, this is the best and most compelling Q2 offering yet.